Yogi in Disguise gives $50. Says, Argo may not be a pupper, but she deserves pets all the same. Yes, she does. What a good horse that horse is. And we are actually ready to go with Shadow of the Colossus, any percent by TikTak. Take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be showing this run today here for many reasons, actually. One of them, if some of you may have watched the runs of GDQ with Shadow of the Colossus in it beforehand, it's only been NTA boss rush for the main events. So this is not only any percent where we have aggro and it's more time to explain things, but also a little bit harder on me because some tricks are more difficult. It's also hard mode, just because I like it to be even more difficult for myself. I'm very excited. I'm gonna pet the horse, and this will be an amazing run. And I'll let my commentators introduce themselves.
Okay, hi, my name's RUBIEHART, use they, she pronouns, and I am a speedrunner of this game, primarily in any percent runs.
And hey everyone, I'm FoxyZilla54. I've been running this game for a very long time. He, him pronouns. I run kind of everything almost, but I've been on a long break for the past while. But yeah, TikTak, take it away.
Thank you so much. I'll just be doing a countdown, I guess. So the time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Here we go.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so these first few colossi, I know TikTak is going to need to really hyper-focus here. So if you aren't familiar with Shadow of the Colossus, just to start off with a basic synopsis. So basically the plot of this game is you play as this character known as Wander. He comes to this area known as the Forbidden Land because there is a god that exists here, this deity known as the Doorman, who can actually bring back the souls of the dead. So basically you say, hey, Doorman, can you bring this girl back to life? And the Doorman's response is, only if you break these 16 statues that contain my power. The way that you can bring the statues down is if you kill the colossi. So unlike a lot of other video games where the story is very explicitly said and you have to fight through a bunch of grunts to grind XP before you can get to boss fights, the only thing existing in this game is essentially the scenery around you, the implicit storytelling built into the architecture and basic cutscenes, and then the 16 Colossus fights. So we're actually headed up to this first Colossus known as Velas, and I'm gonna let Foxy get into the details of how this fight works.
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit going on here. We recently, well, I said recently in the past year, implemented some very slight improvements that you'll see TikTak do here, where we're like skipping basic moments where the game tries to show you like basic, I guess, climbing options and how to like traverse the world. Other than that, really the biggest thing is just getting up to the Colossus, and it's fairly simple. We're going to be using throughout this just a simple cutscene break. So in some cutscenes in the game, you're able to actually move in them, and so by actually activating the cutscene and interacting with the minor sigil that's on Valus's leg, we can just go straight to the head. So when I say minor sigil, that's just it's something that is basically part of the puzzle of the game itself, and lets you interact with the Colossus more. So TikTak's on the head now. This is great, exactly what we wanted to see. And so we're gonna get to see some extra fun hard bits after he does a few stabs on the head here. Since actually in hard mode, some Colossi have 4 sigils on them to just your initial normal mode playthroughs. So as we wrap that up here, we'll be moving on to the arm sigil, which is Valus's extra sigil. So yeah.
Hard mode is definitely known for having quite a tough moment sometimes, just because stamina management is even more important than in a normal run, and it can be kind of tricky. We in the community like to call it a comfy run, let's say. Some people call me a little crazy.
Yeah, comfy is the right word for it, although the complete antithesis would say sometimes.
Yeah, some people call me a little
like
crazy.
That Valus is down! Good job, TikTak. 1 down, 15 to go.
15 to go.
Also one thing I actually completely forgot about. How many pets do we have?
Okay. we already have 5 pets for Argo.
Yes!
So
Agro!
Yeah.
I'll keep that counting.
Thank you. Yes.
5. All
Yeah,
right.
5 aggro pets. We're gonna do a little bit of a warning. So with the 2018 remake of the game, Bluepoint added in various different control schemes that you can use instead of just the normal PlayStation 2 Classic. And just as a warning, the button to pet aggro is also the same exact button to slash your sword. So we can't hurt aggro. She is indestructible. So just to know that if he slashes on accident, it's just a nice little scritch for the most part, is how I would describe it, and we'll get our pets in as we do.
Yeah.
So
Yes, and if you've ever been around an actual horse, you know that they can take a lot. They are very big boys. But let's see.
There it is.
and it happened immediately. There we go.
1,
2,
2,
3, 4, and 5. Amazing.
what a
Thank
good
you so
girl
much for
you
everyone who
are.
donated. And even some extra scratches. That's gonna be amazing.
I love it. Yep. So this next Colossus we're headed towards is called Quadratus. So this Colossus is actually a really good introductory one because it introduces you to that concept even further of the minor sigils. So much like how Valis had a smaller sigil to knock him over on the back of his ankle, Quad actually has sigils on the very bottom of his hooves. So if you were playing this normally, you would shoot those to get the Colossus to go down. However, with this particular version, there's a really fun exploit that we can use. So if you see the far off cliff face, if TikTak lands on a particular part of that cliff, he can actually activate the cutscene to start the fight early and jump directly down onto the back of the Colossus. So it already saves all that time of having to climb up. And then he's gonna be able to get the additional sigil, which is gonna be on the side as well. So let's see that jump down for the cutscene.
Oh god. Sometimes Wander has a little trouble here because it's not quite intended, but it was good.
Yeah, one sometimes kind of
Nice.
gets on a ledge and says, "Nah, I don't think I'll do that." And you're like, "We think you will, bud. It's okay." But yeah. So going into Quad here, there's a couple mechanics pieces for at least the speedrunners that are just kind of easy common knowledge. But you can see that TikTak is literally, maybe not quite so much, but there are points where he can literally be on a Colossus and not get shaken at all, and we just call that a plant. Nice and simple. Quad's head plant is a little bit finicky from time to time, so it's definitely something that you gotta just sometimes hope a little bit that you've gotten it, but definitely not something to kind of lose it over if you do miss it.
Yeah. It felt right there, but didn't quite work out. But I got a little jump step in there just to make it a little more flashy,
Yeah, exactly.
And
Flash
just
is
to
what it's all about.
reiterate, some of the plants in particular have really, really big hitboxes that TikTak's going to be able to land, and you'll see several of those throughout this run, but that is one of the most narrow ones, so it's totally understandable that things happen there. But now once he takes out this side sigil, he's going to be able to go to the final one, which is going to be on the butt of the Colossus, and we can actually use something called cycle stabs here. And basically what that means is rather than holding on and waiting for the whole animation cycle to end for him to pull out the sword and stab again, he can actually just quickly let go and re-grab the Colossus in order to get in those cycle stabs. So it's just a faster method of getting in that damage.
Yep, the game just literally pops you out of it.
Time, though.
Yeah, Wander's not having a good time, which happens.
Oh my God, Wander.
Which happens quite a bit.
Hun, get it together. We practiced this.
Yeah.
Slopes are
There
a tough
it
thing
is.
sometimes.
Yeah, slopes are very crazy, but that's basically how it works. Is there's a slope that pops you out of the animation, and we can instantly reset it to get more stabs in quicker. So, some nice little butt scritches for Quad, and a nice little sleep for them going forward. Little nappy nap.
Forever under dust.
How does your pet count look like right now?
So yeah, speaking of butt scritches, we have earned one more pet for Agro. Agro!
There we go.
Yeah.
You have to yell it.
Yeah. The louder, the better. Just don't break my eardrums, please.
Yeah, we gotta watch out for those peaks.
Yeah.
Oh, our good girl is gonna get good pets, and then we can go into probably one of the most iconic colossi.
Yes.
But let's see these pets first.
Spicy pets. Maybe a scritch in between.
Ooh, a scritch and a pet? She
Double
getting
down.
spoiled.
That's the
Oh,
pet.
there we go. Nice pet.
Yeah,
There we go. No, that's just for now.
That's a 10 out of 10 pet.
10 out of 10.
And I would
Best
say
girl.
this is, 10 out of 10 girl with a 10 out of 10 pet. Okay, so the next Colossus, this one's really cool, and the reason I call it an iconic Colossus is even if you've never had the chance to play this game before, you've probably seen in poster art or fan art pictures of this Colossus. So it looks like a absolutely tall, gigantic warrior that has a sword affixed to its hand. And basically, the normal way that you would beat this Colossus is using a metal plate in the center of his arena, because the armor he's wearing, including an arm guard that prevents you from climbing all the way up, you basically have to break that since it's really brittle. But one of the great things about speedrunning, we can skip over all of that. We'll get there as far as the strategy once we actually start the fight, but it's a really beautiful area, and with the way that the game is actually designed, this is one of the first sections to introduce you to really using the environment to your advantage rather than just what's built into the Colossus. And I think we've got a little time. If there's a donation or two, this TikTak, if you're good, this might be a good place to read some.
For sure.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. We've got so many petting donations, including one from Agro herself, says $50, or it's $50 and says more pets, please.
There we go. 100% agree.
Zerth gives $5, says pet the horse. She will run the world for you. She deserves that. Let's begin a $5 train for the mighty horse. You know we must honor her for her work.
Always.
You heard it, chat. Let's get that
Who
train
runs
rolling.
the world? There you go.
She has done so much work for all of us who run the world. Girls who runs this world. Agro.
Exactly. And so one cool thing that you'll see TikTak doing here that's unique to the modern control set is he's doing double rolls, which basically it's just exactly what it means. It's just chaining two rolls together specifically by being on your hand equipped and then switching to a different weapon in the middle of the roll. It's unique to, like I said, the modern control set. Each set of controls has their own, I guess, like usefulness in terms of some things, but overall it is mostly player preference, what they use, and how they decide to kind of interact with travel about these little smaller portions. But yeah, up next, as Ruby said, we have Gaius. Definitely one of the cooler colossi. Definitely a step up from the normal mode Gaius as well. Overall, the trick you guys are going to see here, probably maybe seen it before with HEDQ 2019, but it is certainly one of the flashier tricks that we get to look at. So certainly going to give TikTak a moment, as he needs to focus on this and kind of let you guys take it in. So,
Yeah, good luck.
good luck, you guys.
It's one of the tougher ones for sure.
And
Beautiful,
there
beautiful
we
Space
go.
Jam. Nice.
Yes, nice. Okay. It's just one of the best things about this game is just the fact that you take the word physics, you italicize it, bold it, make it 96 font, and then just go to town on it more or less at the end of the day. And that's just one of the coolest things we get to do. And so being able to show that off in a marathon is like it takes just so much out of you with the nerves, to be able to do it, because at the end of the day, it's any percent. So the biggest thing that we didn't mention on top of TikTak being like, playing this on hard mode, which is just even more crazy than, the normal any percent, is the fact that you basically get one try at a trick in any percent. And if you mess it up, we actually have to have backups, where if it's NTA or time attack, you can just quickly reset and then get yourself back to where you were to try it again. So getting that first try and a big old marathon like this is just really big news. So we've kind of been talking about that jump right there a lot, but Gaius has an extra sigil on its left arm, and actually that sigil is dangerous, like absolutely dangerous, because there's so much to it, I guess, with like being on that slope, stamina management, and making sure that you can get your stabs in, because you can get plant sometimes, but from time to time, really, Gaius just shakes and will not let you do it. So big old GGs here that we're on the stomach sigil already, and working through this. So awesome, TikTak, really killing it already.
Amazing job. Yeah, and just a few additional things to point out. That launch is honestly, for speedrunners, one of the hardest tricks to learn. So nailing that immediately is such a big testament to TikTak's skill with this game. On top of that, part of what I know we've mentioned stamina management a few times, but just to break down kind of what we mean by that, when you're playing in hard mode, like we said before, not only do Colossi have additional sigils, but they do way more damage to you. Most of their hits, if they get a direct hit on you, will immediately stun lock you. And you don't get any more stamina than you would get in normal mode, yet it takes a third to half as much additional damage in order to kill a Colossus. So basically, with the small amount of stamina that we have that's normally built for normal mode, you're given a much smaller window of time to get in more stabs on the Colossus. So it's something that we're going to bring up a lot with several of these Colossi, is how finite that timing has to be.
Yes.
And hey, do we have any updates on horse pets?
Not only do we have 4 more horse pets.
Yeah.
Chat is putting
There we
in
go.
work.
Nice.
Way to absolutely kill it, everybody.
3, 4. Yes.
Oh,
There
she
we go.
deserves it.
Hey, TikTak,
Absolutely deserves it.
on a scale of 1 to
This is
10,
so
how
wholesome.
happy is your Agro right now?
Very happy, and I'm also very happy. This is so wholesome and relieves the stress a lot.
There we
Being
go.
honest here.
Thank you to all of you amazing horse lovers out there. We appreciate the redemptions of the horse incentive, and also just giving money to Games Done Quick. They raise money for such incredible causes, so thank you so much for being here and being a part.
I think we have a little time for more donations, since this is a little longer travel time.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say, we did mention this earlier, but there is a cap of 45 pets for Agro, so let's make sure we get every pet possible. We wouldn't want to leave any on the floor, would we? No way. So we've got $5 from JB Henry that says, oh no, here we go. I can't say nay to TikTak petting the horse. I might stir up some trouble. I feel like the Shadow of the Colossus run should have a cult following.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'll stop the puns. I don't want viewers getting hoarse from all the groaning. Runner's choice for incentive. Thank you, JB, for all of those puns.
I'm really ready to, like, my head almost like just gravitated into my desk, just like a nice old thunk right there.
Right.
But I need to keep my head on for this.
Whereas I'm like equally groaning and also delighted by those puns, so
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
And Foxy, is it okay if I talk about Phaedra?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so Phaedra is the name of this Colossus, or as Yusu and I call her, Phaedra. So this Colossus, some people say looks like a horse, a dragon, a giraffe, a llama. I've heard it all. So basically what TikTak's gonna do here, normally you would use bunkers behind you to trick the Colossus essentially. But by launching onto the back leg, like TikTak's done here, using the momentum and the physics from Agro, he can just get directly up to this leg and climb to the ladder on the butt. That was an amazing job there, TikTak. Well done. Normally, you wouldn't be able to get to this ladder until Phaedra was leaning over the tunnels and you tricked her to think you're one place, but actually another. But by doing this, we're able to get up immediately. Now, this Colossus does have 2 additional sigils, and one of them, TikTak's having a bit of a rough time grabbing here. There we go, much better. So TikTak just got the placement for one of the 2 additional sigils, which are on the shoulders. And the tricky thing about these is they're in placement on the Colossus, where you get shaken a lot. The position of the ground beneath you, essentially, which is the Colossus's fur, is constantly moving since it's right on that shoulder. But once he gets these 2.5 stabs here, he'll be able to go for the minor sigil and that final big sigil on the head.
Yeah, and I will say these, having done hard runs before, these shoulder sigils, that's a tongue twister right there, they're tough. Like it seems like yes, it's a flat surface, just stay there, aggro, but just
No,
absolutely just does not. And like you can see Wander just tripping over himself, walking over Phaedra's neck, and that's just kind of the everyday of what this game is, which it makes sense. You are a tiny man on a giant creature. You know, if the world was walking under you, you know, if it was you're walking on an earthquake, basically, how would you be able to walk around? So there's a level of, I guess, realism to all of this that really all of the Ueda games kind of bring in and just make it so much better. But really, at the end of the day, man, yeah, Phaedra won on any percent. This trick is, if you fall off, it is an absolute nightmare. So big old GG's there, getting done with Phaedra there. Yeah, it is.
Nice job.
It's very scary overall.
Yeah, the recovery,
especially like on the first shoulder sigil just now, Wander rolled off because he stumbled and I barely held on there. That was very, very frightening.
Yeah.
I saw that, but you had an awesome
like,
recovery.
Yeah. Sometimes, as I was saying, sometimes Wander just does a little, not a barrel roll, but you know, a nice little roll that you lose complete control of where he is going. So sometimes you'll just fall off, and sometimes you accidentally grab a ledge, and your like heart is just like ready to beat out of your chest. So yeah. Bible thumbs in chat for Phaedra having a nice snappy nap. And do we have any more pets? I assume
we are
yes.
going so fast, but we are still accumulating pets. We have one more pet, only $32 from the next pet. So one pet for now, and keep it coming in, chat.
Yeah, keep it rolling.
All right.
Yeah, if we get to pet her as a thank you for every single Colossus slain, I will be so happy. That would just make my day.
There's a pet.
Nice pet. Yeah. All right.
Oh man, okay. And next we're heading to one of the coolest Colossus fights in my opinion.
For sure, yes.
Yeah. So next we're headed to Avion. So this is a bird Colossus. It's one of the only two flying Colossi. And we're gonna see it doesn't have any additional sigils. This is actually the first one in the hard run so far that doesn't have extra sigils that have to be hit. However, this is one of those where that really, really tight and specific timing for the stamina management is really going to come into play. So Avion is known for having sigils on either side of both of its wings, or on the left and right wings, as well as on the very back of its tail. So this is going to be a fight where essentially what TikTak's gonna need to do is shoot the Colossus, mount the Colossus, and hold on for dear life as he nails all the rest of the tricks in this fight. So it's very specific timing. We're gonna wish him all the good luck here. If people can drop some good lucks and GGs in chat, I think that kind of good energy is what we could use right here, especially since we can't take our baby Agro in with us.
Yeah, it's being on Avion just in a marathon in general is an absolute nightmare because it's so easy to fall off at the end of the day, and it's such a tough thing to handle. But you know, TikTak's very experienced, and we believe in him as best we can. So you know, at the end of the day, we're here giving big G good energy for all of this. So yeah, chat, send him all your energy, give him the pets for aggro, and let's just watch. But yeah, Avion is certainly one of my favorites. Just the technicality in Avion with like all of the run itself is kind of crazy, and just kind of the amount of just cool things that you can do at the end of the day with, you know, Avion flying around and jumping in between. But the extra health, as Ruby mentioned, is really the big thing about Avion. Because of that stamina management, you are just like taking it to the limit, the absolute limit, with making sure that you're just not going to fall because you can't hold on, more or less. So definitely one of the cooler tricks. And Colossi, just to experience, I guess, and really just kind of absorb yourself in the world here. So definitely believe in you, TikTak. Let's have a good time.
Thank you so much. And while talking about HTA Avion, I actually want to mention the individual level runs in this game. Because what I'm going to do is mostly safe, a little bit risky depending on animations. And but the HTA IL for Avion is absolutely incredible by Stormglad. And all of them, honestly, but if you want to see something more from the game, I definitely recommend watching Gaia's. All of them are absolutely crazy.
Yep, and
Yeah.
for those of you not familiar, IL stands for individual levels, so basically just speed running, fighting each individual Colossus in the time trials.
Yeah, and I don't want to take away anything that we do as full game runners for the most part. Again, you know, because it's training them all together takes a lot of skill to know all of them well enough to be able to execute constantly. Because really, honestly, sometimes this game just says no, and you know, a run dies. But you know, that's just the nature of the beast. But just the level of skill that they can take for one Colossus and how crazy they can make it look, and just make it look casual too. Like, oh yeah, 100% intended. I didn't do just 300 tries in a row, you know, at this one minute of a boss fight, basically. But yeah, and TikTak's on the last sigil here, and Avion is a great example of, hey, you know what? There's a sigil, but you, it doesn't actually exist there. Like, so the hitbox for Avion's tail sigil is absolutely insane, and just a great example. And I think really as a casual person, something that's a lot more like mind blowing, I guess, at the end of the day. But yeah, done with Avion already. Like, that was so smooth, TikTak. Way to make it look clean. Absolutely
Thank
clean.
you so much.
Amazing job.
Yeah, Avion was nice today. Oh, and I landed on top. That's rare.
Oh, there you go. That's okay.
And it saves time.
That's super hype, actually. Yeah, that's really cool. That's always like a little thing, because basically on Avion's tail, you're just at its mercy, because you can't actually move in any of the death cutscenes, I'm pretty sure. So if you fall off, it's more just random, and so that's a nice little thing. And actually, so one thing we haven't mentioned is that we do our runs with like an RTA timer, so a real-time timer that helps us kind of keep, you know, a measure of how well we're doing. But we use the game's in-game timer for all of our actual true, you know, running basically in time comparisons. And so, because this game, the in-game timer is running any time that you have control of Wander, and so the closer that you get to the tendrils that come out of the Colossi, the more time you're saving. So that's actually a big IGT time save, you know, and we're just like sitting here like, ooh, more or less.
Pets?
Like that.
How many pets?
Oh, yeah, so
Chat is blowing my mind here. They have so much love. We have 3 more pets for Agro.
crazy.
1, 2. Who's the best girl? It's you.
But I just stopped doing the I'm having fun with it. All right, but next up we have Barba, who is
Before that, the 17th Colossus.
the 17th Colossus.
I
yes.
think you're forgetting something, Foxy. So, if I may, because
You may.
this was the bane of my existence for the longest time when I first started. So some of us in the community affectionately call the forest on the way to Barba and the desert for the other Colossus that we'll get to later. We call it the 17th Colossus because so many speedrunners will get lost in this forest. Even though they may be having a great run, they may usually know the way to go, but if just one tiny thing goes wrong, it's really hard to navigate your way back out. So basically what we have to do here is constantly aggro for the sake of wanting you to see the scenery. The designers essentially put some places where when the scenery changes, aggro will slow down since this is a very artistic game. They want you to enjoy it. But by kicking back like that, we can just tell her essentially, hey, how about no, I'd like to go fast. I'm a speedrunner, thank you. But if you do a kickback while she's on top of a blade of grass, she gets scared and starts bucking. So
Yeah.
now
And the
we're
funniest
out.
thing is that wasn't the case in the original game because there the forest didn't look as pretty, I guess.
Yeah, in the OG, this forest that was just so lively here and so full of trees is like a dark, like foggy, you know, existence. So it's even harder to navigate in the OG. But yeah, they added a lot of trees and stuff that kind of makes Agro's, you know, AI go a little bit wonky at the end of the day.
Yep, and now we can talk about Barba because that's the next Colossus we're headed
Yes.
towards.
Yeah, so Barba's coming up. This is one of the few times actually in the game. Are you going to go for... No, you're not going to go for the actual, the beard skip because it's hard. Aha.
Yeah, so
Remembering
it's going to be
things.
hand instead. Yep.
Yes, so Barba is another Colossus, so we go immediately back from Avion to Barba, who Avion had no new sigils. Barba has an extra sigil on its left hand. In the normal any percent run, there's actually a specific difference because in time attack, you can't move wander for the first like half second as the timer of starting, excuse me. But in any percent, as long as the fight has started, you can move wander. So there's a nice fun little glitch where if you skip the cutscene of like it's showing off Barba, that you can warp to the beard, but because the hand sigil is a thing, it's easier to start actually on the ground normally to go for the skip there. So just gonna immediately skip this and head to it. So definitely Colossus that TikTak worked on quite a bit to try and make this much more consistent at the end of the day. Oh no, that's actually also extremely tough. But thankfully, tactical deaths, as we like to call them, are very easy to do in this game, especially in hard mode. So by wasting some health,
my community has actually started calling them tactical yeets, just
yeets.
because so many of them go off cliffs. Yeah, so really quickly, TikTak got it this time, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, here, go ahead, Foxy.
That's all I was going to say is that the damage difference between normal and hard is so much that simply by jumping down off of there and having Barba stomp is enough to, have you do a tactical death. So that jumping in that hand, even though it looks like it makes sense why you should be able to jump into it, the slope again of that just makes it so much harder to actually execute. So yeah, definitely good to get it on second try. And let's see.
Yeah.
No. Oh god.
And stepped on for the death.
Oh god.
I
It
like
went
the-
from very awesome to bad.
I like the gusto. In the IL, you can actually, if you time your release right, you can actually just get yourself yeeted onto the head, and it's super
Directly
great.
on the head, yep.
Yeah, instead of falling down and basically going up. The normal way would be to go up the other hand, basically, to get up to Barba's head, because it's a little bit more. It's just how the arm goes is a lot easier to do. But getting smooshed right there was definitely the hubris check for you.
Yeah, and one
That was
thing
a
I want
comfy
to add.
moment.
Yeah, one thing I want to add, just as far as the difficulty level
let's do
of
it
this
that way.
particular fight. So with that, basically that hand that he just finished the sigil on, he can only really get in one stab every single hit, and then the rest of it's all about stamina management. So he handled that really well here.
Yep.
And now you're gonna get to see that other gauntlet. So TikTak is basically going to use the momentum from Barba's arm shaking to try and get him off, and instead can jump directly to the head like that. Nicely done.
Nice. There we go.
Yep. And the
Good
final
stuff.
the final two sigils he's gonna have to take care of. One is the one he's taking care of on the head, and the final one is on the back. Now, Barba has quite a few shake animations and different cycles, but the nice thing is, once you actually get to know the Colossus pretty well, take it on a few dates, take it to dinner, see what it likes, you actually can figure out that the cycles follow very specific timing patterns. So it's pretty easy to get in stabs that are just the right amount of damage before the shake cycles start. So that's what TikTak is doing here to take out the last bit of damage on Barba. Let's see.
Oh, and you're gonna get an animation.
Kill to the
Yes, you
cutscene.
got the animation. Oh, nice.
Yes!
So actually,
Slow motion.
yeah. So specifically for Barba, it's one of those colossi that in the cutscene of when it breaks, the barriers basically between where it enters and the end of where you're like kind of supposed to do the intended, I'll say in quotes, puzzle. You actually can move in it, and so with some of these stabs, even though the Colossus might have like a sliver of health that looks like it takes a lot more, you can just quickly tap the either the stab button or to slash, and then it'll do enough damage to get the kill. So what you saw there is Barba was walking forward, but all of a sudden got the kill in the middle of the animation, and it like slows it down, because the game does slow it down for the normal bit, but with the cutscene on top of it, it's even more slow, which is kind of crazy. So actually a very cool thing to show off in the middle of the run. So missed the first head jump, but getting that, I think more than enough makes up for it.
Yeah, I've never seen a death in the cutscene. That was awesome. Okay, how many pets do we have, THEKyleThomas?
Listen, I have the biggest grin on my face. We have 5 more pets.
Yes!
Wow.
4 of which handled by Totally Gatsby with a $2,000 donation and a haiku that says,
Wow.
4 more pets
Oh my
per
gosh.
horse. Chat,
Ooh.
please give best horse more pets, more pets, more pets, more.
4 and 5.
Can
I think we also have some time for a couple donations.
Yep. Can I also just say that haiku was one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard, and bless the person who made that donation so we could hear that haiku.
Yeah, I've got plenty of horse-related donations for you. We've got Skylar Fox with $250 says Agro deserves all the pets. Yes, she does. I've got this is a nice one. $25 from Usurpering says TikTak, he's our man. If he can't do it, Sean probably can. I'm just kidding. I love you so much, my beautiful son.
Oh wow, there was some slight there.
Thank you so much for all your wonderful support on the Team ICO Speedruns Discord. You really are the heart of this weird little family. Seeing you here at SGDQ sparks so much joy for us all. Our spirits are definitely with you tonight. Best of luck on the run. You must be so comfy to run hard any percent at this marathon. Hugs to Ruby and Foxy too.
Aw.
Thank you so much.
Yusu.
Yeah, Usurpering is the Last Guardian runner, part of the community. We basically are one big Team Eco or U80 game family, and so that was a nice little joke that she threw in there. But you know, it's all in good fun, and TikTak is obviously like she said, really the heart of a lot of bringing us all together as kind of one community versus just each individual game, and yeah, is really a big pioneer of hard mode as well. So it's kind of a big, it's got to be absolutely amazing TikTak to here and show this off and really kind of show the progress that you helped it make at the end of the day.
Yeah, and also shout out to Inception. The little reference is probably there because he took the world record off of me a couple days before this, and he got an amazing time and holds all the other main category speedrun world records for full game runs. So exceptional player, and I learned a lot from him. And it's just amazing how we all evolve in this game in a very friendly and amazing manner.
Yeah, if I can actually add to that, TikTak, one thing that was really incredible is last year when a bunch of people started becoming really active in the community, some people who had been running it for years and some who were relatively new, one of the ideas that came around just with us talking back and forth was doing big races, just hanging out and practicing, doing a no reset run. And TikTak, along with the member of the community, Azuma, who's done a lot of community work, actually organized big 6-person races where a bunch of us would just pile into a Discord room. We would broadcast it on the Team Eco Speedruns channel. And it just felt like a party of a bunch of people who enjoyed this game, getting better because we were learning how to fix those mistakes in the moment. And I legitimately think that it made all of us better speedrunners in one way or another of this game. I learned a lot from it. I don't know what y'all think, but
Yeah, definitely. It's the races themselves were a lot, just to sit down and actually focus on the game. A real quick thing, if anybody in the chat or watching possibly has thalassophobia, so if you're of deep water, I would probably say look away for the next couple minutes. Big old lake here. Up next we have Hydrus. One of the more difficult and precise tricks here to really just kind of shorten how long this fight usually takes in an intended amount. So yeah, it's very precise. It's a very just interesting strat overall, but very cool just kind of how quickly this we're gonna make this go, in the event. So kind of give it a second here, but yeah, it's gonna throw you off. Let's say that.
The setup is a little iffy. It might work, but might also not work. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, well, good thing we're on hard.
Yeah.
it's very easy to reset.
Oh, there we go.
Yeet!
Yep. Give me that electricity. Oh god, no. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So another tactical death, certainly something, especially in hard mode, makes it a lot easier because really, if you miss this in normal any percent, it's just a reset if you're going for at least a PB or a top time really at the end of the day. But the simple of what's going on is by interacting with Hydrus's AI in a certain way in a certain spot with pretty, I want to say, precise inputs, you can cause Hydrus to basically pop its head out of the water, and then by grabbing onto it or getting onto Hydrus, you're able to force it into basically the animation of it skirting across the water, and then that kind of allows us to just basically circumvent the entire fight and the entirety of going through it. So there it is. Awesome.
There it is. There it is. Nice.
Yeah. So definitely very hard and tricky trick to get done at the end of the day. And with this one specifically, in normal mode, you don't take enough damage to have to worry about Hydrus's shocks killing you. But here we actually have to take out the first, horn to say, and then you can just jump stab the head, which makes it go very quick. So awesome fight right there. I mean, one reset is, that's nothing to fear there. So definitely big old GG's there.
Fantastic job. Yeah, there are a few Colossi that we all consistently call run killers, or just if you say the name of the Colossus, we'll all have a collective sigh just knowing the pain of losing runs to that Colossus. And this is definitely one of the ones that has made that list. So really, really good job there, TikTak.
Yeah, very consistent one across the board. I think one of the coolest things that maybe we haven't mentioned, and also this is the longest death animation because I think you have to wait for Hydrus to sink to the bottom of the entire lake, and then the tendrils come up. So it's kind of like a pause, I guess, especially in hard mode before the storm with Kuro coming up. But certainly, oh yeah, Kuro, man, that's you'll get it.
I'm more confident about Kuro than I am about Hydrus, so I'm very happy this went fairly well.
Good. Yeah, Hydrus is not Hydrus. Excuse me. Kuro was always my bane for doing hard mode runs. So. But as I was saying, basically each Colossus, I think one of the coolest things about this game is that everything has its own feel. Yes, we do the same tricks and, they're very similar inputs, but everybody kind of has the different way that they learn them and that what feels natural with how to do it, basically. And I think that really is what makes it stand out as a game, is that it really does take a village to teach people how to speedrun this, where got several people in a
sorry
chat.
Sorry to interrupt, but pets.
Pets, yes.
We have 2 more pets for Agro.
Yes.
Yay.
Pet the sweet
Dude.
baby.
There we go. But yeah, and it takes a village, as I was saying. We all hop into like a Twitch chat whenever somebody new comes in the community, or help try to review videos or explain it to them, and it's a fun experience to have us all kind of just figuring it out together of what they might be missing, just because the game itself is so imprecise yet so precise at the end of the day.
And one thing that's really cool is honestly, this is one of the most inclusive communities that I have ever been a part of, gaming-wise, and people are so eager to share new tricks. If someone makes a mistake, but it actually gives another speedrunner the spark of the idea of, hey, we haven't tried this trick. Everyone's so open about that communication, and just helping each other out to optimize the run as a whole together. And that's something I've just always really appreciated about this community. And again, TikTak has been a big organizer and leader of the charge there. So thank you for everything, TikTak.
I'm very happy that everything works out for you guys, and thank you so much for being my amazing commentators here.
Always.
So,
Of course.
If I may, I would like to explain the Kuromori fight.
Yes.
So this is one of those fights that is the easiest one, fairly simple to do in the normal mode, but on hard modes it's terrifying, because you want to do a 1 cycle on this one. On normal mode it takes just about 5 stabs cumulatively, hard word, so 2.5 on the first and 2.5 on the second stabs. Here it's 6. So I'll have to be very precise about do those cycle step techniques, just to even have close to a chance to do it. I think I'm fairly consistent at it, but sometimes stabs can straight up just miss as well. So it's definitely one of those nail-biting moments sometimes when things don't work out as well. But one of the more technical and interesting fights as well. This was actually one of the first fights I learned to do the strat off, the hard mode Kuromori, because I found it very interesting. And it took a while. Many beginners have trouble with the 1 cycle on this one. And hopefully I can show a good execution of that one. Also, a fun little trick I also did earlier. No, I'm gonna show this. I don't care. Wonder can float. There you go. Now you know. So coming up to the fight in just a little bit. I'm gonna do a side jump here for the little swag. And yeah.
This is also just a beautiful arena, so take a look around if you can. It's just an
Yeah,
amazing fight and an amazing setting.
Yeah, having played the PS2 game endlessly back in the day, just the amount of just good that Blue Point did to make these areas just look absolutely stunning is insane. I feel like this is certainly
Sure.
the most like this is what I thought the game looked like when I was that age, right? Yeah. In here, the puzzle for Kuro is fairly simple. Simply just shoot an arrow at the legs to make it fall down. But one quirk basically that most people don't realize is that the higher Kuro goes up on the Colosseum, the farther you make it fall down, the longer that it stays on its back while trying to stab its belly. So in normal mode, we only have Kuro go about halfway, but in hard mode, you must have Kuro go all the way to the tippy top to make sure that you have the appropriate amount of time. And actually, those are 6 cycle stabs executed perfectly. And
It is so
actually,
easy to
yeah.
meme stab there. That was really well done.
It's a very, very tight timing for hard mode, but now that TikTak's got this, it's just probably such a big old sigh of relief. Yeah, and they're gonna make sure that you didn't miss like any sort of health there, because as you can see, Kuro is just kind of starting to flop.
Flawless. Flawless.
Yes. Flawless
Yeah,
victory.
Starling.
Yeah, and one thing about this fight is actually, if you don't make one cycle, you straight up die because of rolling over. So it's a do or die moment.
Yeah.
Very stressful, but amazing and rewarding once you get good at it.
Exactly. And hey, you said you were confident. And there you go. Your confidence is being TikTak. Absolutely.
Yep. And for the next Colossus, I'm gonna let you two talk about it because he makes me too viscerally angry to even acknowledge his presence right here.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Also,
Cool.
how's the pet count?
Yes.
Okay.
What are we at?
This
Yes.
breaks my heart to say, but we are $72 shy of our next pet. So there are 0 pets waiting for Agro.
No.
What have you done, Chad?
Baby!
What have you done to our baby?
That I believe.
And right before Bosseron too.
Oh no, I believed. But yes, TikTak, do you want to say any words, or I can let it roll?
I think we have a little time for 1 or 2 donations before that, just so we don't start going in detail too early.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. I've got $100 from Gooperman. It says, "Hey TikTak, I am super
Goop.
proud of you for getting a run into GDQ. For all the good you do for the community, let alone your talent at speedrunning the game, I can't think of anyone more deserving to show the game off. Good luck, and don't get TikTaked."
You'll get to that one later.
We'll explain that later. And so, fun fact: Gooperman is actually formerly known as Church Neo, was the AGDQ 2019 NTA runner. So the first time the remake got shown off at GDQ, for which I was also on the couch for. So I'm making my my second debut on the couch. But yeah, so thank you so much for that wonderful donation, man. Really appreciate it. He was supposed to be here today, but had some things fall through. We miss you dearly. Miss you dearly.
Also, I just realized one thing that we had been talking about before, just Goop, TikTak, and I to the side is, oh yeah, we've all run at GDQ events, but you have too because you did hotfix.
I did do a hotfix before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
It's your race. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a race
TikTak and I
with me,
did.
actually.
Me and TikTak and I did a hard race back in, I guess, late 2019. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. That was a great time. So, but yeah, getting into Bosseron, it's kind of a weird bit to explain here. Physics are gonna happen. We're gonna eat a little bit. This is again one of those imprecise, precise things that we kind of just try to telephone to each other about placement and where we need to be in the world. But instead of going through the normal fight, which is just an absolute nightmare with these geysers and getting Bosseron to fall over, it's just such a crazy trick with basically side jumps break this game is the simplest thing to say. So TikTak's gonna wait for a very specific moment to quick start on aggro. We're gonna hop onto the leg. Nice. Double up onto the leg. That's okay. And bam, there you go. Basically, you're using Bosseron's legs physics to launch you up. And it got a little close there, but a very, very good recovery. And that honestly shows TikTak's skill, being able to kind of realize that did that first jump just slightly early, but one of the coolest things about this game is just kind of the interactions you can do with jumping. So by going from the bottom ledge to the top ledge, or simply resetting himself on that top ledge, it allowed Wander to reset his animation, kind of basically give himself iframes is the simple way to say it, which makes it so that Wander can just do a quick side jump, and then that leg lift is perfectly enough. Now, one of the funniest things actually is that if you do that leg lift too early, you actually get too much heat, and you can fly over Passaran. And so,
oh yes, I call it the aerial tour.
Yeah, so you get a nice little aerial view, kind of drone style of Passaran, and Passaran is just none the wiser. So it's very cool, but like great execution there. So yeah, that's getting that first try in a marathon is absolutely bonkers. So
especially in any percent, that was gorgeous. TikTak, well done.
Yeah, lots of tactical depths on Passaran for sure, because there's a nice little chasm off to the side that aggro takes you to diligently if you fall off. But yeah, really great execution there. And Passaran just has so much more health too, that really stamina management. That's why TikTak was kind of letting go and going back to Passaran's back to give himself more stamina to make sure, you know, that there wasn't going to be any. You saw the cool trick. There's no hiccups here, so we're still going fast no matter what.
Heck yes. And please tell me Agro's gonna get a pet after that. She deserves it.
Chat, we shamed them so hard. There are now 6 available pets to make up for last time.
There we go.
Thank you so much,
go.
chat.
Yeah.
You're so cute.
Thank you. Just a light shaming. Everybody's got to be having fun here with aggro pets.
I mean, 6 definitely makes up for it.
Oh, yes.
A lot.
It shot up as soon as they realized there weren't going to be any.
Yeah, well, after that fight, she absolutely deserves it. Launching directly into Passaran, God, I would not. No, sir, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
The amount of just sheer force of will that Agrosaurus has to have to be charging at these colossi with Wander on her is, you know, just something. It's stuff worthy of great great epics, basically, at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially since we speedrunners have like a very high standard when it comes to our aggros. We sometimes hate on her a little bit, but in a friendly way.
Yeah.
Because she can make the run slow at times.
Yeah. And I think we have time for a few donations, because there's a pretty long run up here to the next Colossus. So we're starting to get into the branching out of how far out we can go for some of them.
Absolutely. There is so much love coming in for all of you here. We've got, well, first off, here's the love for Agro. We've got Eric R. with $500 says, they're good horses, Brent. And we've got, oh boy, here's the puns. We got $50 from Andromeda says, did you hear about the man who was hospitalized with 6 plastic horses inside him? The doctor described his condition as stable. The doctor then handled the case of the horse who fell and can't giddy up. Poor thing lost her whole left side in an accident, but don't worry, she'll be all right now. Enough horsing around about doctors, though. Pet that agro and fund some operations for MSF. The doctors who look at borders and say, nay. Thank you very much for your donations.
Amazing. Are there any more? Because this really is a long ride. We can get in
Absolutely.
Probably 2 more. Yeah.
I've got Azama from Team Eco Family. Says the entire Team Eco Speedruns group, we wish you a great GDQ week to everyone. TikTak, you know how much this community owes you. Congrats and thanks for what you've done and for what you're doing right now. And don't worry, we'll still love and respect you if you get TikTaked today. Much love, big thanks to GDQ, and have a great show, everyone. Thank you, Azama.
Thank you so much, Azama. I really appreciate it.
We've got Lizard Eat Flies. Gives $1,010, says have to donate during Shadow of the Colossus. Pet that horse.
Thank you so much. That is an incredible donation. And yep, we've got time for 1 more, actually, and then we can start going into the explanation.
Sure. Camper gives $250, says half a horse pet in honor of the gem of a ruby on the virtual couch. Always love GDQ, and good luck, TikTak.
Hey, thanks, Camper. Okay, so coming up on this fight, this is a very beloved fight. It's just a fun one. There are some with the speedrun strats that can be incredibly frustrating, and playing them over and over can get tedious at times. But this is a fight that, at least for me, I don't know how everyone else feels, it never gets old. It's always a really fun show. So basically, Dirge is a sandworm. So in his arena, it is going to be completely covered with sand and dust. And TikTak, is this one that you wanted to talk about, or do you want me to take it?
Feel free to talk about this one. I need to focus on the arrow shot.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this fight is pretty specific, but it's very fast paced. So basically what you're going to notice about this sandworm is when his head peeks out of the sand, so when it peeks just above the surface, TikTak's gonna need to shoot an arrow into one of his huge eyes in order to throw him off kilter. Now, what TikTak's gonna aim to do is either run him into the closest pillar or to run him into the closest wall. Now,
How did that
perfect.
hit? Wow.
That's amazing. Yep, he got that spin out animation real fast here, and it's gonna be right on this first wall. Well done, TikTak. And now what he's gonna need to do is, there are 2 sigils on this Colossus, and one of the really fun things about speedrunning this game is, in order to take this out normally, you would want to do 5 stabs to each sigil, and it would be a 2 cycle. So once you take out one, the Colossus dips back under the sand, and you have to start all over again. So it loses you a lot of time. But what TikTak is going to do here is, by doing a very specific amount of damage that is just over the halfway point on that health bar, but not too far, he can do just under enough damage and actually deal all of the rest of it on this sigil to kill Dirge. So let's see if he's got it right here.
Yep, and the reason why this works is actually because we get the extra damage on the eye. You saw it was like a pixel, so that's about the leeway we have here. This is a very precise trick.
Well done. Nice,
Very,
nice,
very
nice.
well
Good job.
done. Yeah, very, very well done.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna let you 2 talk before the next one, but then can I talk about the next one?
Sure.
Thank you.
Because up next
Sorry,
is Pelagio.
Well, no, Celosia.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Celosia. Excuse me. Yes.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
no, it's one of my small
man.
boys.
Yes,
It's one of my small boys.
Man,
You gave me a little shock, very Foxy.
I
First.
gave myself a shock, man. It's the funniest thing about speedrunning this game is that, you know, you would think how many times we've done this, we would know the order of the Colossi.
I wrote them down.
And then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Oh man.
Yes.
I have had runs die because I was doing great, and then I go to the wrong arena and it doesn't activate the cutscene.
We've both been there before, that's for sure.
I feel like
So-
TikTak, you and I have talked about this too. We've all been there before, right?
Yeah, so because sometimes you just zone out and go into autopilot, and that's the worst thing that can happen. Pets, how many pets?
We have one
yes.
pet waiting for our good girl.
One more, yes!
Oh,
Oh, baby, sweetie, best horse. Okay, so we are headed towards. Oh wait, I said I was gonna let you 2 talk about it beforehand, and then I'll talk about it during the fight.
oh yeah. This is
Yeah.
where I have Celosia up next, not Pelagia. That's my fault. Having splits up on a screen really helps you keep track of where you're going, because I don't know, you get a 1-track mind about a Colossus that you have coming up, and that just turns into you going there on autopilot, like TikTak said. But yeah, it's it's the first small Colossus, small SOML, SMOL. Oh wow, I can't even spell today.
You're trying your best, so and I appreciate your
trying
effort.
my
I gotta say.
Thank you. It's the first small Colossus, and certainly one of the more interesting ones, but it's going to go by in an absolute flash with how quickly TikTak is going to get this done. But at the end of the day, I think this is we do a lot of yeeting with Wander, just kind of throwing him off cliffs, you know, and just kind of doing with whatever. I mean, he's got the spirits of dead Colossi inhabiting his body, so, you know, it's kind of just the nature of the beast, maybe nature of the Colossus, I don't know. But there's a giant pit that Celosia is in, and it's really cool just how we basically circumvent all of the running down and everything by jumping directly into the arena, basically. Sometimes you can miss. It's okay. It's very easy to do. The only thing we gotta hope right here is that we don't get meme rocked, which there's one specific rock that if you land on it, you can get out of it, but basically Wander is like stuck in this little like edge corner that somehow exists that you just insert yourself on. But yeah, that's Celosia for the most part. And I guess before we get there, we've got a little while longer. We got time for a couple quick donations.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Silent Sword with $35. Says, pet the horse, yeet the Wander. And versus Jordan gives $25, says, get that horse a pet stat. 16 bosses, but never enough pats.
Yes, I like that mindset. All right, and I think this is a good point to talk about the actual small boy, the sweet boy that we are about to come up on. So personally, my favorite fights are the small Colossus fights because unlike a lot of the others where they move slower, but they do a ton of damage, they're giant hulking things, the smaller Colossi, the trade-off you have is, well, yes, you have to deal less damage to them to actually kill them. But on the flip side, their agility is off the charts. If they get even a single hit on you, they're going to stun lock you. So what TikTak's gonna do here is the big trick with Celosia is she's afraid of fire. She's just heckin' afraid. So what basically he's gonna do is by getting Celosia to hit that pillar, it basically knocks over a torch and TikTak's gonna be able to light it right here in this beacon. Perfect. And now what he's gonna do is actually take this to the edge, and by tricking the AI into thinking, oh, you're safe, I can attack you now, and oh no, wait, you're scary, you're holding a torch. Once you trick that AI, you can activate the cutscene for her falling much faster. So now all TikTak needs to do is switch to his sword, jump down, and then do 3 hits of damage, and that's all it takes with Celosia. And the plant on the small boys, once you actually know where it is, it makes the fight so much easier. If you're playing this casually, one of the hardest things about these fights is being able to actually maintain your grip. But by getting the exact placement we need, we're able to take it out. And just like that, in probably less than a minute, Celosia is down. Very, very nicely done, TikTak.
Yes, great fight. Yeah, the plants themselves, I think the biggest thing that people don't understand is that developers really wanted you to think that you had to go onto the sigils, and by crawling, that actually takes you out of that plant. So it's a very interesting, I guess, duality of it's something that you wouldn't notice normally, but it's so cool that you can sit there and have Celosia shake and water just kind of up there holding the sword like nothing's happening at all. So yeah, but yeah. Up next now is Pelagia, now that I missed that portion. But also one other cool thing I forgot to mention. So that torch, that stick that drops is actually a throwback to the Fumito Ueda's or the Team Eco now gen design. Lots of name changes here. Oh, and how many pets?
Unfortunately, TikTak is just going too dang fast. We do not have a pet ready for Agro.
Oh,
but just for a little context, chat has already given Agro 28 pets in this run, which is astounding. And I know you can get all the way to the 45, chat. Keep it going.
Yeah, we are well on our way there. So chat, we got to get 45 pets. Come on, it's easy peasy. Look at this horse. Don't you want to pet the horse? Come on. But as I was saying, the first game that they made was called Eco, and the theme of the whole thing is that for the most part of the game, you're taking around a stick for the entirety of it that you light on fire and other sorts of things to solve puzzles, and so that's a throwback to the first game. This area is one of my favorite areas in the game of the water, the cascading waterfalls. Looks like a Bob Ross painting. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So gotta throw that Bob Ross in there. But it's just like I said before, Bluepoint did such a good job of making this game bring it the reality that we thought it was back in the day. If you ever do play this, they do have the concept art comparisons of the original areas compared to the remake ones, and it is the first time I looked through it, I couldn't believe the night and day difference of what my brain was telling me what it actually looked like back in the day. So yeah, we have Pelagia up next. Definitely. I don't know. Do you want to explain this yourself, TikTak, and give us your thoughts?
I want to rant. Definitely want to rant a little bit about it, but I think we have some time in the forest to do a few donations, and then I'll go into it.
Yes.
Sure, absolutely. We've got $5 from Agro that says we need more horsepower for this pet train. Agro starting off a $5 train for herself. We've got $800 from Steady that says pet the horsey. Thank you so much for that donation. And Jeeves gives $100, says, Shadow of the Colossus will always be one of my favorite games. The amount of imagination the game inspires through its music and world design is something else. Thanks for showing off such an iconic part of my childhood. Thank you so much. And yes, this is just a gorgeous game.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. I feel like all of us who speedrun it have fallen in love with not only just playing the game, but how aesthetically gorgeous it is. The soundtrack, the visuals, the actual writing itself, and how all of the games tie together. It's really incredible, the way that they put these together.
Yeah, and really, I think more recently through the community, we've discussed Fumito Ueda's like game design itself, and really how each experience of the game is supposed to, even though it's the same thing for everybody, each individual experience is supposed to be a unique thing that kind of leaves this impression on you. And I think that just makes these games so much more powerful. And it's also easy for us because literally all of us who play these games are the reason we speedrun them is because we're just in love with them so much at the end of the day. So
So being able to share this mutual love is just incredible. It's like, yes, we bond over this very specific thing, and it's wonderful.
So yeah, and talking about being in love with this game, I hate Pelagia, okay? This is that one Colossus,
Seconded.
which is just an absolute pain for hard mode. In normal mode, you can one-cycle this one. In hard mode, you can't. Foxy will go into the specifics during the fight. But there is a certain amount of RNG involved where even if you do everything perfectly, sometimes Pelagia just decides to say, no, you know what, how about you lose 2 minutes? There you go. Now have fun with your world record attempt. Oh, it's not there anymore? Well, too bad. Take it away, Foxy.
Yeah. So it's actually a new setup that TikTak's doing here to get a more similar, basically to get Pelagia's AI to do something similar to the IL. So it's just more consistent at the end of the day. But basically, we just circumvent having to swim around to the back. Thankfully, in the remake, they added a nice little, I guess, treat for us, and that swimming is faster if you hold it down like consistently. But we're just going to jump straight to the head, give Pelagia a little bit of dental work. By jumping on the face, you can skip the AI trying to shoot you, and then plop onto the belly where the sigil is. And so TikTak immediately here, as fast as he can, is going to try to get in 4 full stabs. And when we say full stabs, if you look at the bottom left corner, you can see TikTak's stamina bar building up with the stab as it goes. And looks like he got 4 in. Nice, that's awesome. That is very tough to do, and actually a very good landing spot there too. So like he said, we have to force Pelagia into a 2 cycle. So he's going to break this little demolition, this little barrier. What do you want to call it?
Gazebo?
Gazebo is a good word. Yeah. And then get back onto Pelagia's head as it's breaking it, and then we're going to do more dental work to walk Pelagia over to the next one.
Pelagia behaving in the marathon run.
There we go.
It's not all done yet, but this is the good RNG.
Yes,
I'm so glad.
A lot of the time, it's very easy to happen when you jump onto the head, you are locked. So as we said before, some cutscenes you can move in, some can't. And so Pelagia can just throw you off sometimes in the middle of that cutscene, and then that's where that 2-minute time loss that TikTak was talking about comes into play. And so we basically just repeat this here, but now we kind of, if Pelagia's not in the right spot, sometimes it doesn't work out how you would expect, and really Pelagia has a mind of its own. So really just the amount of thought and how individual each of these colossi are really just kind of, again, like we were saying earlier, shows the breadth of this game. But Pelagia for sure has the most individuality of a lot of the colossi, and that really just makes speedrunning it just one giant inconsistency that, you know, just it's a nightmare to deal with. But you know, we're all here with it together. So yeah.
Because right as I praised Pelagia for the RNG, Pelagia just said, you know what, actually, how about you lose a minute after all?
Yeah.
That's Pelagia. That's I feel like if any of us just say, well, but Pelagia though, all of us just know what that means because we have felt it in a personal and visceral way.
Yes, very. And so it's only 3 full stabs here to wrap it up. But yeah, that's very well done, honestly. Yes. I think that's all you could ask for, really, there at the end of the day. So a good Pelagia is really, I think, a wave of calm, probably, for the most part.
Yeah, that was a chef's kiss fight. Well done.
Very well done.
Hey, how do you feel, TikTak? You doing okay?
I'm glad it's done with this fight now. I'm way more relaxed now because now only so much can go wrong. I got a little RNG there in the end, but honestly, as long as I get Word 2 cycle and stay on Pelagia for it, it's not bad at all after that.
Yeah.
So at least the most important part went well, and I'm happy about this because it's really one of the Colossi that even for top runners of this game, it can vary by minutes, plus minus 2 minutes in a proper run without too much. You have influence with the setup, which worked out perfectly, but still, though, it's difficult and it's tough. So, how many pets do we have?
Chat is coming through. We've got 2 more pets for the goodest girl.
Amazing.
Yay.
So we got 15 more to go, right, before we hit max pets and possibly extras.
Correct.
But,
We're
you
at
know.
30 pets. Chat is just smoking it.
All right, chat, we got about another 40 minutes if I'm giving TikTak some extra time here. But, you know, I believe that you can make it happen, especially for the last
So far, this
4.
run is definitely looking very good.
Yes.
I'm so happy with it.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and we're actually headed towards one of the most beloved Colossi
favorite.
in the community. Yeah, it's Foxy's favorite, and also in the official Team Eco Speedrun Awards was awarded Best Colossus by our community. Those awards were so fun. We did them in what, January, February? Yeah.
I think so this year, yeah.
So Felix was voted the most beloved Colossus, and it's really a gorgeous fight, and this is the first and only Colossus in this game that you will ever encounter who is a total pacifist. No matter what, this Colossus will never actually attack you. So it's this big flying sand snake, so we're gonna have to do a lot of work with the arrow and with aggro. So for all of you aggro lovers out there, you're gonna really see her going to her best work. But in the meantime, we do have to go through that 17th Colossus again and make sure we get those kickbacks properly.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect spot for, I would say, 2 more donations.
Yeah, you got it. Jay gives $30 and says, if only I could pet Agro in real life. I totally agree. She deserves it.
Yeah.
And we've got $50 from Beastman. They say this game took an eternity for me to complete casually. I can't wait to see it destroyed and on hard mode as well. Pet that horse. Thank you so much for that donation.
Yes, so many pets. But yeah.
And
go ahead.
We can
Liberty.
actually, no, I was gonna say, I think we can do one more quick one.
Sure, we've got Lamp with $70 says, I like pets. Please, more pets.
Yes. Okay, so this one, I think, Foxy, you would be the best one to explain it since you know both versions of the strategy, so I'm gonna leave it to you. Yeah.
Overall, Phalanx is a simple Colossus. Really, we do something similar to Dirge by shooting the air sacs with the arrows. It does enough chip damage that we only have to do so much to the first 2 sigils to actually be able to kill Phalanx with only actually finishing off the last sigil. So, like we said before, really you only, for a few Colossi, you only actually have to do just enough damage to kill 1 sigil to actually get the kill animation. So, TikTak attempted to do sort of an IL setup there. It's a very difficult setup to do, but it sort of worked out at the end of the day to get an early descent, basically. So, the strat that he was going for, like I said, it's pretty choppy to pull off in a full game run. And so, personally, like I was saying before, this is my favorite fight just because it's just how grandiose it is at the end of the day. You know, you're using aggro to run around, shoot these arrows while on horseback, jump up these wings, and then you're literally just flying through the air, doing all these crazy stabs and jumps. Like, you know, it's so insane to me, like just how cool this fight is. And I don't know, I feel like Phalanx is some people like to make fun of it as like it did win the award for the favorite Colossus, but you know, it's like also like everybody's favorite in some aspects, you know, for that. So I wear it with pride, to say the least, that it is my favorite Colossus, and you know, I agree with most people that it is cool. So
100%. There's something really elegant about watching the speed run of it and just the Wander absolutely flying through the air, headed to the next sigil on the Colossus. It's very picturesque.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think one of the, like Avion, one of the cooler ILs and kind of just more for normal at least, because just how many like crazy jumps that you're able to get with it and everything you're able to do. So yeah, and that's Phalanx Stun, and it's certainly one of the more sad death animations because of just how large Phalanx is just crashing to the ground, and you realize kind of at this point I think it's kind of a turning point in the story because you're like, wow, like yes, I've just been defeating the Colossi one by one, and here finally you're kind of realizing just like how much impact you're having, I guess, as the player, and it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, if you weren't sure if you were the hero of the story before this point, I think this is pretty solidly for most people the turning point where you go, oh, am I the bad guy?
Yeah, very morally ambiguous.
Yeah, very morally
point.
ambiguous switching moment in the actual, I would say, overall tone of the game. And hey, THEKyleThomas, do we have any pets for our good girl?
We sure do. We have one pet waiting for her.
Oh, amazing. And if you want to read out what the message was with that, absolutely.
Sure.
Or if there were a few messages with that.
Yeah, here's a one for $5 from Kate. Says, a haiku that I put a lot of effort into. Pets, give pets, give pets, give pets, give pets, give pets, give pets. Please give aggro pets.
There we go.
Very well constructed.
The perfect haiku.
And the next travel to the Colossus is probably the longest one time-wise, so you have quite a lot of time for donations now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Ashley gives $25, says, long-time watcher, first-time donator. Let's start a donation train to pet that horse. Thanks for all you do. Thank you so much, Ashley. I've got $50 from Hoffer055. Says, donating on behalf of my wife, whose absolute favorite game is Shadow of the Colossus. Pet that horse. Blink gives $25. Says, so happy to see TikTak running Shadow of the Colossus. Thank you so much for showing off this great game, and thank you to TikTak for all that you do for the entire Team Eco Speedruns community.
Thank you so
much
Blink.
love pouring in. I've got
Blink
one.
is actually one of the eco runners in the community, so that's just another thing where we run 3 different games, hopefully soon enough a 4th one, but we're all interconnected very, very amazingly. Yeah, keep going for donations.
Sure. Sushi Elemental gives $20 and says, why is Agro so well behaved? Because of Prime Taming, of course. Which is to remind us that if we have Prime Gaming sitting around and haven't used it yet, go ahead and use that here. And part of those proceeds after taxes will go right to MSF.
And we do still have time for even more donations. Really, this is a long run. This is the perfect place to get in more. Yep.
$50 from Aliath says, I love Shadow of the Colossus, and what better way to support the protagonist's bad decisions by making my own good decision? To donate to Doctors Without Borders. Agro is the best, most patient horse. Please pet. Thank you so much for all of these donations. Morgul Blades gives $25. Much love to GDQ and MSF, donating to a wonderful cause and also the incentive to get Agro all the pets they deserve.
We just hit a hype train.
Look at all these Prime trains coming in too. This is
Oh my
great.
gosh, thank you so much, everyone. That's amazing.
Chat is being so cute.
Thank you. Okay, so for that cuteness, there've got to be more pets for Agro coming later. And I'm going to go ahead and dive in because I know TikTak's going to want to talk during the actual fight. But one thing that TikTak and I share and found out the moment that I joined the community, we share the same favorite Colossus, which is the good guard dog boy himself, Cenobia. So Cenobia, I refer to him as Cinebaby, but that's just me. So Cenobia is another one of the small boys and very much reminds me of a bulldog. And the area that we're going to get to is absolutely gorgeous. So the way that you would normally defeat this Colossus is he's in this huge town or abandoned city and is guarding it. He's defending it, hence the nickname Good Guard Dog Boy. However, what you essentially do with this abandoned city is you lure him into knocking himself into these towers that stand all across the landscape and use each tower knocking over to launch yourself to the next one. So it's very much so a platforming Colossus before you finally mount its back when the armor gets knocked off. Now, there's going to be a lot of that TikTak is able to circumvent, and he'll go into the specific strats during the fight because TikTak, I'm going to let you talk about this. You optimized a ton of the strats for this fight. Like, the reason it exists as it does today is because of you.
Yep, I didn't find the strats themselves, but initially, well, basically there's two big speedrun strats for that. And it's actually also a difference if you have watched Church Neo's run, aka Gooperman's run, from 2 years ago now. Time flies. Because that's when the strats were still being developed, but not like implemented by everyone. One of them is the super jump. It's the only glitch in this particular run, which involves clipping into the base of the last pillar, which you have to get to. And the game doesn't like at all when you clip into things. So if I just mash the jump button like crazy, won't it just fly? It's not the most consistent thing, but hopefully I can show off an amazing execution of that. And the second strat that Wacky Wolf AO found, aka the Wacky Jump, is one of those strats that was found very late, and then it was found everyone just collectively face-palmed. And the reason for that is that it feels so obvious once you see it. Basically, in the PS4 version, they added a couple aesthetics to the back wall, plateaus, so to speak, where you can jump on. And when you jump on them, all of a sudden you can jump to a final last plateau that you have to get to directly. And you can do that even during the cutscene, because you can move during it, which means it's like teleporting to the next objective. There it was almost. I have to just smash a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
People say I'm one of the better mashers, and like I'm pretty good at this strat. But even for me, it can be quite challenging at times because it is inconsistent. But yeah, basically with the Wacky Jump, it's almost like we're teleporting to the last objective of the fight. If it goes well, it's not the easiest strat. Once again, okay, it won't work. I already messed up the setup for it. Let me see if I can, hopefully not die. Oh god. Okay, no, it's all good. Okay, I'll just show what I should have done during the cutscene. I jump here, nice plateaus, and here we go, we're up there. And that's a thing that wasn't there in the original game, and that's why everyone was absolutely blind to the strategy. It was found like more than a year after the release of the 2018 version, and due to me knowing about it first, after Wacky told me about it, I was actually able to get the IO world record with it, which actually held for a couple months before the actual good IO runners took over. Shout out to Davara and Upsol, two of our Japanese runners, which are absolutely amazing at IO. There are way more people. It's fine.
Okay.
This is what happens sometimes when Zenobia... Wow, the meme pillar! We haven't seen that one in a long time.
You are much calmer than me. When I fall off of this boy, I immediately just stop breathing.
that definitely comes with experience. It's just like one of those things, oh yeah, I've seen this one.
But you got the plan. Nice. Well done.
And, oh, I've seen that one. Oh, that happened before. Like, I'm probably a person that had the most never happened before moments in this game, which we will get to later during the last Colossus. Ruby will explain it beautifully, I'm sure.
More than happy to.
But the good thing is now I'm almost never stressed out, even with hard mode being the way it is. Unless it's Pelagia. Pelagia is stressful, but there we go.
Nice. Good old GG's on Zenobia there, excuse me.
Very, very well done.
Yeah, certainly I think falling off Colossi, especially the smaller ones, is something that just experience kind of prepares you for. And while it's not optimal, it's for sure something you kind of just learn to deal with, and it makes you panic way less. Just
Goodbye.
With how many times it can happen.
Goodbye, my sweet boy.
Good night, sweet prince. But yeah,
How
okay
many
there,
pets
Ruby?
do we?
Yeah.
I'll be fine. Listen, I have to do this regularly too. It's just always that. But THEKyleThomas, I think we're gonna give some love to Agro on behalf of Zenobia. So do we have any pets?
We absolutely do. Chat has come through with 3 more pets for Agro.
Yes, there we go.
Amazing.
We're up to 34, which means we've got 11 left for Agro. Let's try to get there.
Amazing.
And about that, actually, the last chance you get to pet the horse is after this Colossus. So you better get all the donations you still have left in so you can get the max amount of pets right now. This is the last chance. Go for it.
And Foxy, I'm gonna leave this fight to you, so
Sure,
go
I
for
mean-
it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a similar run up to Argus, which is the next Colossus. So if there are a few donations, feel free to rattle those off, and then we'll take over from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a nice poem from Hollis, aka Goose, for $25. They say, "By our side as we run along, Agro dear has done no wrong. Her effort and love we shan't forget. Let us give the horse a pet." Thank you so much for that
Beautiful.
beautiful poem.
Wow,
you,
that was
Goose.
actually such a really well done poem. I claps for that. Thank you. But yes.
If that's the Goose I'm thinking, he's actually an infamous speedrunner, so definitely give his page a look too.
We've got $10 from Wolfie. It says, "I bonded with my father by reading him the strategy guide while he played the OG on his PS2. So the remake is a love letter to my childhood. Pet the horse, she deserves it." Thank you so much. That's very sweet.
Oh no, wait. We forgot the pets. We'll have to do them next time.
Okay, well,
Wait,
we'll store
did
up
we?
3 pets.
Okay, amazing.
I forgot the pets? Oh, I'm very sorry about that. Actually, let's just do them now.
Good luck for the fight.
Quick little pit stop. Nothing wrong with that.
It's a very important pit stop,
Yes.
listen.
Yes.
2, 3. I'm
There
very
we
sorry
go.
about that. Sometimes the muscle memory and autopilot kicks in when it comes, especially to the routing towards the Colossi. But there we
Oh,
go.
it's definitely the same way. We added a new category extension recently called Any Percent Intended. So it's basically doing the strats that the designers, quote unquote, intended for you to use. But I feel like I've seen every single one of us who have tried that category just at some point go into muscle memory and then be like, wait, I'm not allowed to do that. Crap.
Oh no, I launched. Oopsie.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're too good at the game and then forget. Oops.
Certainly. Yeah, I think we've got time for at least 2 more donations, and then I can
Yeah, absolutely.
bring it home.
Alfred Bernard gives $25, and they say, "Have to donate during one of my favorite games, Shadow of the Colossus, to help transform this already amazing any percent run into an even better pet percent run. Pet that horse." Thank you so much. And Ikasama gives $10, and they say, "I didn't even know you could pet Agro. Please, more pets to make up for all the ones I didn't know I could give her." Thank you so much for your generosity.
There's actually a funny story to that Ruby can tell if they
Yeah,
want to.
yeah, I sure can. So, I actually ran this at the Fleet Fatales for Games Done Quick, specifically the category Any Percent Normal, which hadn't been done before that at any Games Done Quick event. So I was really excited to bring it to the table. And out of all the years I have played this game, and all the love I have poured into it, all the speed runs, it wasn't until I was in the middle of the GDQ run that my commentator, Usurpering, so that amazing Last Guardian speedrunner we mentioned before, she said, "Oh, and you can pet the horse." And the look of shock that took over my face when I discovered that, I had no idea before, and I straight up paused the run at one point and was like, "Nope, I'm sorry, I have to do this for the first time. It's happening right now." And oh God, it was just such a pure moment. So yes, I actually didn't know until I was running at GDQ that I could pet that horse.
Yeah, that's it was a shock to me as well, considering our platinum runs that TikTak and I have both done. But I guess to get into the Colossus real quick, we're going to be doing a very similar trick actually to Bassaran. But before that, we get a nice little I don't call it a glitch, but we get to just wedge wander into Argus's hand to do a couple stabs onto the hand sigil. So we basically get to skip an entire portion of the puzzle where there would be a minor sigil on the top of the arm that causes Argus to drop the sword. And from here
Thanks,
we're
camera. Wow.
yeah, oh wow, that was an interesting drop. But yeah, so that very well done. And we basically just load up this animation to force Argus to give us a spot to at least allow ourselves to sit on while we're waiting for this walk animation to launch. So let's go ahead and
Nice.
little yoop right up to the head. We're gonna get more stabs in, and then Argus is another Colossus that has an extra added sigil, which I think probably TikTak would also agree is one of the more scarier ones at the end of the day, just because getting a good grip with Wander is an absolute nightmare, and your stamina management can get very, very scary to make sure that you don't fall off, because Argus is generally a very big reset point, but
Especially with
overall,
this chest sigil, the hitbox is so small.
Yeah, compared to like Avion, it's just it's very tiny, and you have to be basically directly on it, and you know, trying to get it is always a nightmare at the end of the day. So yeah, should be one more full stab with a slight other. Make sure we're done. Oh, and these walk animations too is really what ruin is, the fact that Argus can just kind of randomly decide that, you know, I'm just gonna keep walking here, bud.
Yeah,
and go on from
you
there.
just can't get a grip, so you really do have to do smaller stabs, like whenever you can get them in. Nice.
Yep, there we go.
Yes.
Very, very, very well done. Awesome stuff.
Amazing, Argus. Yes.
All right, so we're gonna have to ask at the last moment how many more pets we got, because we didn't get to that 45.
We are so close to one more here. I'm just waiting for it to tick up. So, oh, there we go. Okay. Actually, it's moving pretty fast. So if you want to talk for just a moment while we teleport back,
Quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep an eye on this.
That last moment, just let the cutscene play a little bit. Oh no. Yeah. Oh, is something going on? Excuse me. I'm gonna let the cutscene play here. Gotta get those pets. But yeah, we're coming up on Argus itself is a very heavy reset point and has changed a lot since the very early portions of the game, and it's hard to remember sometimes, I guess, since I've been running it since it came out around the 2018 time, of just how much. It's weird how much more consistent it is now, but at the same time, just how crazy it can be at the end of the day. It's another easy tactical death one because there's literally just a cliff right behind Argus. So, you know, all right.
Yeah, and I.
3, 2, 1. Okay,
What are we at for pets?
that's it.
We have a grand total of 36 pets, so let's give her those last two beautiful pets. She has done such an amazing job, and chat, you are awesome for treating her so well.
Yes, thank you so much, chat.
And
Thank you,
2.
chat. We love you, Akko. And now we are headed towards the grand finale of Shadow of the Colossus, the 16th Colossus, Malice. He is an extremely tall boy. He looks gorgeous. We have quite a ways before we actually get there, though, so we won't worry about breaking down that fight quite yet. But I was gonna say, TikTak, do you want to talk about how you got into speedrunning this game in the first place?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm one of those speedrunners, one of those rare kind of speedrunners that never actually played the original games initially. So I started out with the PS4 version, and it was basically a friend of mine who was also running the game for a little while, brand new. He basically said, you know what, you have to play this game, it's so amazing, let's do it, I'll invite you to my house, and then we get a few moments so you can play through it. And actually about that, initially I loved the game for the most part, but this last fight, Malice, was the absolute pain during my casual playthrough, so that's why I left with a kind of weird feeling. But later on he wanted to get into the speedrunning side of it because he was curious, since he actually got kind of good at playing through the game casually, and over 90% hard run as well. And he noticed that there weren't many runs on the board and that he could actually get second place at the time, I think. So he got that. I got curious, also looked into that, and basically right after my first playthrough, I've been running the game ever since. So it was like around July or August of 2018 and all of that happened. It's an amazing game, and the more I play it, the more I learn to appreciate it for all its beauty, its aesthetics, and game design.
Heck
Truly a
yeah.
masterpiece.
That's absolutely fantastic. I feel like all of us has that kind of origin story with how we came to love this game as much as we do. And really quickly, speaking of loving this game, y'all, we have been on an incredible journey with our beloved horse, Agro. I want to give you a heads up. There is going to be a scene coming up pretty soon here where we are going to lose Agro. It will appear that she has died, but I promise you she has not. We do not get to show the credits because that's just 15 minutes of waiting for IGT. So unfortunately, we probably won't get there, but she does come back and she is fine. Just want to put that out there for anyone who may have a thing with animals dying.
Goes for a nice swim.
Yes, he goes for a nice swim.
Does come back. But yeah.
Wow, look at Agro just having a mind of her own.
Yeah.
She heard me talk about it and was like, no.
No,
thank you.
180, I'm out. Sayonara. But yeah, it's definitely the first time through, it's a breaking moment. And you kind of cycle whether it's been a good run with Agro, bad run with Agro, but for the most part, we do love Agro so much, and she is very deserving of all of the pets that we gave her. So again, thank you everybody for donating to that. It's a wonderful cause, and it's a fun thing to do that we usually don't get to appreciate Agro enough. So.
Goodbye. You were so good this run, girl.
Very heartbreaking, but again, good to
Agro
know.
is truly indestructible. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, like we said before, those the accidental slashes, you can't hurt her no matter what. So, there from the beginning, I gave you the hint.
There's actually a glitch to make Agro fall off a cliff, but that one is very technical, so
Yeah.
basically nothing you can do to make that work.
Yeah.
And even if Colossus hit Agro straight up, pretty much nothing happens. She just gets a bit scared and runs away, but other than that,
Yeah.
nothing too bad.
Do you think we have time for probably like one or two more donations, and then we can kind of break into getting TikTak?
Yeah, I'm happy. Yep.
Then I can just straight up get TikTak.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we got so much love for Agro, and Chad, I'm with you here. We're crying every time she goes off the edge there, but she does come back. We've got $50 from Sunny329. It says, Shadow of the Colossus is my favorite game of all time, so I had to donate. Pet Agro, all of this wouldn't be possible without our beautiful girl. And Jesse
Amazing.
Lockhart gives $25, says, I heard we're giving pets to Agro, one of the best friends in gaming. So here's to more pets for best horse. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much, y'all. So really quickly, before we get into the description of the fight, I need to explain something called getting tic-tacked. We say this with love. We say it with love. TikTak, as amazing as he is at this game, for some reason, this Colossus seems to hate him in a very specific way. So there have been many times where he has been on world record pace or great pace, and then something goes wildly wrong. So he'll get thrown across the arena, he'll get stun locked. So sometimes we call that getting tic-tacked. But we are gonna have an amazing run here. And Malice is a really incredible fight because it kind of takes the culminating knowledge that you've gained from all the other Colossus fights and puts it into one. However, rather than having to use these bunkers and barriers like you normally would have to with the Intended, we can actually find specific areas in that battlefield to just... Okay, so what he went for...
There.
Yep, he went for something called a double roll there, just to try and get directly under the Colossus rather than using any of the tunnels. We call it the pitless strat. And just like that, he is underneath the Colossus, and now it's just a matter of platforming and climbing. Now, normally with this Colossus, there are 5 or 6 different sigils on the mini sigils and weak points on the shoulders, the back, the hands, and you have to do this whole puzzle of getting from one piece to the next to the next. but by shooting an arrow just a little bit earlier and further down on the Colossus, he's actually going to be able to get the attention and the arm of the Colossus much earlier. Then by using some of that physics to our advantage, TikTak's going to be able to fling himself directly to the head without having to worry about any of those additional weak spots. So he's just going to go for that final one here. It's going to look like he's shooting the armpit. Nice. And then by climbing up a little, it just puts him in the perfect place to grab exactly where he wants to on the arm. Let's see. Nice. Yep, so just using that momentum of the arm fling, and now it's just a matter of getting onto the head. There is a plant for this Colossus that's relatively easy to hit. The problem is the pacing. If you don't pace the stabs in exactly the right timing and pattern, you actually can get thrown out of that plant just because of the particular areas that Wander's model is. It's very strange and very cool. But it looks like we've got a really solid Malice here. Yes!
There we go. Take
Nice!
that. One last eat for good measure off the cliff.
Well, if you say so, I wouldn't have done that because that loses time, but sure, I'll try.
Yeah, there's a fun little thing
aggro
that
falls, we also have to fall.
Yeah, we're gonna follow aggro to the abyss at this point. It's something I've been doing since I've been playing the PS2 version since I was a kid. But not quite.
No.
Maybe
No.
There we go. Made it.
Oh, amazing. Also, TikTak, this run has been incredible. You are crushing it, dude.
Yes.
Thank
You're
you so much.
absolutely
I'm
killing
very
it.
happy with this run as well. It even glitched out a little there.
Yeah.
Or at the very bottom of
that's very
this.
normal, but you can't die in that cutscene, and so you can just kind of yeet yourself off the back edge and up to the bottom of the world, and it's just a fun little
So
thing to show
let's
off.
see if I can get the floaty boy. Sean, give me instructions on this, so if it doesn't work,
It's all right.
I guess it's my fault. I don't think it worked. Sadness.
Nope. So this final section, literally the way you speedrun it is peace. The more you fight with the people who are in this temple, which by the way, if you're wondering how we got from point A of that fight to point B of this scene, just play the game. There are not enough words to describe it in this short a time span. But we're here, we're the doormen now, yay. We can shoot fire from our mouths. It's a celebratory gesture in our community. So once he shoots that fire, now he's basically just gonna be peaceful and let the people who are on the ground, these warriors, escape. That's gonna activate the final cutscene just before we're gonna call time. So once Wander turns back into a Wander person, and then falls into the pool, you'll see what I mean in a minute. That is when TikTak's gonna be calling time. So just a heads up for the people in charge of that.
Just one more fire breath, because this was a very cool and absolutely amazing commentary from you guys. I'm absolutely excited and amazed.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're happy to be here. We really appreciate you inviting us to be here with you too. So
Yeah, 100%. We got your back.
So, and I guess as I get to the last little portion of the game, nothing much can happen anymore. I can start with the shoutouts. So, thank you very much to all of the Team Eco community. You've all been amazing, and it's really changed my life in many, many ways. I'm so happy I started speedrunning this, and no words can describe it, how grateful I am. Time, by the way. Then I want to also give a huge shout out and big thanks to all the people organizing this, including the people that did the tech check, the sound people, and everyone that was involved. Of course, you too, THEKyleThomas. You did an amazing job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You did as well.
Yeah, and if you want to be part of this community, you don't even have to run. Of course, you would love if you did, but you can just follow our events that we organize. We do that pretty frequently. And if you're interested in any of the Team Eco games like The Last Guardian, Eco, or Shadow of the Colossus, definitely make sure to join the community Discord. You're an amazing bunch of people, and you will be very welcome. I'll make sure of that. Yeah, and another shout out to all the restreams for the different languages we have. A lot of our community members are actually involved, including Sean and Azam on the French restream, Stocky on the Spanish restream. Also, I've personally been involved in the German restream because one of the languages I speak is German. And also shout outs to the Russian restream. I was born in Russia, I can speak Russian, so I will definitely make sure to watch as many of those restreams as possible, the VODs of them. Thank you so much, everyone. It's a very diverse community, and it really shows. So yeah, this was Shadow of the Colossus. If you two, my commentators, have anything to add shout-out-wise, I'll give you the chance here.
Oh, just,
Ruby?
I mean, I would 100% second the shout outs that he's given. But for personal, thank you so much, TikTak, for inviting me to come and commentate. The races, whether they be regular or Colossus, have been an utter pleasure. So being here and supporting you during this run was a joy. So thank you so much. And again, to the runners in the Team Eco community and to the people who are supporting this cause. And big shout out to my Crystal crew. For any of you who are out there, thank you so much for your kindness and support.
Oh yeah, definitely. I stream on Twitch, but if you give me a follow, definitely give my commentators a follow as well. Ruby and Foxy are amazing streamers and in many ways more entertaining than I can ever be.
Oh no, you're here for a reason. That's it. But yeah, I guess for me, like TikTak and Ruby said, I've been speedrunning this game since about March of 2018, so about a month after it released, and it's crazy like how diverse our community is, and just how I guess a lot of us have just been around for such a long time, and we just haven't let it die yet because we won't let it, to say the least. And so yeah, we span so many different countries around the world, and we really just really want to show our love for these games and really, run through it there. I will give another shout out to Gooperman, who was supposed to do commentary for this but wasn't able to. And again, thank you for letting me kind of hop in and fill in the gaps, I guess, for the most part. But that's really about it for me. So thank you everyone so much again for letting us be here. It's been a great chance to show off the game.
Yeah.
We'll be out of here as fast as an asteroid, full speed. But one last thing, what is my final time?
Your final time was 1:41:11.
Pretty good, especially considering the pets. Stellar. I'm very happy.
And there's Agro. Yay!
Heck yes.
Yay.
And by the way, I saw in chat some people were asking, because we've used our nicknames a lot, but we're asking for our actual gamer tags if they want to follow us. So if we want to go around and say those.
So it's TikTak12 for me on Twitch. It's RUBIEHART on Twitch for Ruby, and FoxyZilla54.
Yeah, 54.
Yeah.
And the spelling of my name is RUBIEHART. So yeah, if you want to drop us a follow, we would love to have you hang out.
Alrighty, thank you very much for the opportunity to show this run. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruby, Foxy, and of course TikTak for that amazing Shadow of the Colossus run. All those pets were so well deserved by Argo. Thank you so much to chat for raising all that money for those pets. What a wonderful community. Can we get a big wall of love for our runner and that couch? They were so fantastic. Had some wonderful, loving comments coming in there at the end, including this one for $100 from Pedro. Says, I already used my Prime Gaming, but that horsey needed petting. Thanks to TikTak for a great run and to the great commentary from the couch. And $25 from C. Jitsal Good. Shout out to TikTak and all of the commentators. The entire Team Eco community is so lovely. Y'all deserve this moment. Thank you all so much for those wonderful donations. We will be right back after these messages. Welcome back, everyone, to Summer Games Done Quick 2021 online, powered by Twitch. I am THEKyleThomas, and I am still on an emotional roller coaster from Shadow of the Colossus. That game is just so gorgeous, tells such a wonderful story, and we have so much love in the donations here. I'm going to go through a couple of them. We've got $100 from Anojek that says, "Greetings from Germany." Greetings to you, Anojek. So good to have you here. We've got Jetboy the Mage giving $25, says, "Thanks for keeping GDQ alive in these pandemic times." Thank you so much. And that is such a great reminder. Thanks to all the tech people, everyone behind the scenes making this possible. It is just such a wonderful feat to be able to continue to bring these things to everyone. $25 anonymous donation with a smiley face. You're bringing a little smiley face to me. Thank you so much. And we had an anonymous $500 donation. No message, but thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. And all of these donations are in support of Doctors Without Borders. Doctors Without Borders is an international medical humanitarian aid organization that works in over 70 countries around the world, providing life-saving medical humanitarian care and speaking out about what they see in those areas. Their work aids people based solely on need, irrespective of race, religion, gender, or political affiliation. MSF relies mainly on the generosity of individual donors, with over 90% of MSF's income coming from private donors giving small amounts. And that is every single one of you. You contribute 90% of their funds. That is just so fantastic. And that is going to wrap it up for me. It has been an absolute honor to be hosting for you. Again, I am THEKyleThomas. Stick around for more wonderful games. I will be back later in the week for a little more hosting. We are just getting this marathon started, and I'm going to send it over to Sent and Mr. Game & Shout to talk about all the wonderful prizes that are a part of this marathon.
All right, Shout. I get it. You want to do some prizes yourself. I understand that. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. But before you really get into it, you gotta understand some things about the prizes around here. They're everywhere. You gotta keep an eye out, Shout. I'm telling you.
What do you mean everywhere?
I mean literally everywhere. Like, you want a snack? I got some crackers. I got some chips. I got some cookies. You want some of these?
Please.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You can't have any of these because these aren't snacks. These are prizes. Come on, Shout. You gotta keep up. I'm telling you, they're prizes everywhere. Like, you know, these beautiful cave story paintings from Glenn. You get the full set. You get Curly. You get Quote, and of course, you get their nemesis Balrog. Altogether, $15 minimum donation. They're a cute set, and they have some special little Mamiga doodles on the back of them. You can't see those. You'll see those if you win them. They're pretty cool, and they're signed by the artist, actually.
That's actually adorable. I love that.
I just noticed them. I'm going to be honest.
No, that's actually
they're super cool. They're adorable. Huge fan of that. Thank you so much for Glenn for sending those out. Now, like I'm telling you, Shout, there are prizes everywhere and snacks everywhere that shouldn't be on this couch anymore. Come on, like.
Okay, so wait a minute.
Monitor box?
Yeah, there's a monitor in the monitor box. You put monitors in the monitor box.
Why would there be a monitor in the monitor box? We don't have monitors in the monitor box. We have prizes. Prizes like this absolutely adorable Spice Up Your Life drawing from Puzzle Pea. It's a $15 minimum donation. It was upside down. Now it's right side up. It doesn't matter what direction you like to cook because Kirby is all about that. And that's a super cute drawing. You know?
I love the glitter for like the salt.
Oh, yeah. No, like Puzzle Pea always incorporates glitter into the projects in such a great way. I love the doodles. That's my favorite part about all of Pea's art. Like every single art piece has
it looks like
doodles.
white space. It is not.
It's not white space. It really is. And like if you look at it really close, you can see all kinds of like secret little words doodled in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like carrot.
Yeah.
It's like a whole word find and an art piece. It's super cool. It's a $15 minimum donation. Thank you so much, P, for sending it out. It's great. But you know what? That's not the only prize in here.
There's more than one prize.
Yeah, there's prizes everywhere. I keep telling you this. We got prizes like this absolutely beautiful perler art of Quote and Curly and Balrog sent to us by Professor Caton. Like, look at it. It's so cool. It's a $25 minimum donation. I believe $20 minimum donation, actually. There we go. We got it on screen. Look at it. It's adorable. It's the ending scene of them flying through the night sky. How could you not like this, Shout?
It's
so
beautiful.
Good.
I love it.
It's so good. And to think it was in that box. That is where the prizes are. I'm telling you.
Okay,
you gotta...
all right. So we got prizes in boxes. I can keep up with that.
Yeah, all right. Well,
okay.
All right. Here's an easy one, Shout.
Yeah, what?
This sandbag, right?
It's full of sand.
Well, yeah,
It holds the lights.
No, it doesn't hold the lights, Shout. It holds the prizes. That's what this is all about. Yeah, we open this up right here, and we have even more prizes, like these absolutely beautiful Kirby Joy-Con covers from Marlo Dobe. Like, look at them. They're so adorable. You got stars. You got your favorite little Poyo on them. They're only a $10 minimum donation to get into. How could you not be interested in these?
That is $10 is good.
That's $10, and you could win a completely custom Joy-Con cover for your Switch. How could you not like that?
That is so fantastic.
It's absolutely adorable. I love Marlo's color palette. It always comes out looking so amazing. Thank you so much to Marlo. Now, even in the heavy-duty stuff, Shout, that's important. Like, you know, I got sandbags. I got some opened boxes. Like, whatever. Of course it's got prizes in there.
Yeah, I mean, that's where, well, I guess now that's where they...
How about this Rode audio case? What do you think is in here? You think we got microphones? You think we got audio equipment?
Well, these headsets don't move themselves.
Well, you think incorrectly because you know what? We got more prizes.
How did the... But...
Yeah, that's where the prizes go, Shout. This is what the lesson is all about. Prizes like this absolutely amazing crocheted Mario blanket from Bailey's Creations. I'm probably going to have to stand up to show this thing off because it's so massive.
You got this.
Hold that up with me, Shout.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, look at this thing. It's so cool. It is a hand-knitted crocheted blanket, $25 minimum donation, every square filled with a ton of beautiful stitches. It's absolutely adorable, and you know what? It's pretty warm too. It's a comfy blanket.
It's a little cold it's a little cold down here.
It's a little cold in here. We got a lot of computer equipment. We got to keep it cool. I'm going to stay warm under this blanket.
That's a plan. So prizes can be...
They can be anywhere, Shout. They can be anywhere. You know what?
This is revolutionary.
I've got so many prizes just hidden around the office right now. Why don't you go and bring one back? And when you can do that, I think you'll be ready.
I got this.
All right.
I got this. Okay.
You do that. While Shout goes off and does that, there are plenty more prizes that I definitely want to tell all of you about, and they are certainly some amazing prizes. Now, from Doikam, we have this absolutely beautiful Jet Perler. This is Jet from Kirby Superstar. How could you not love this? This is a perler. This is a beautiful singular piece of fused perler beads in the exact shape and shading of Jet from Kirby Superstar. It's so identical. There's nothing more I could say about it than it is what it is. That's how you know a perler is excellent. Thank you so much to Doikin for setting it out. It's a $20 minimum donation. Again, from now until the end of Kirby's Dream Collection. All the prizes that we're talking about are until the end of Kirby's Dream Collection. From Phoebe J, we have this adorable King on a Hot Tin Roof poster. Like, come on, how can you not look at that? I saw this in my inbox. I got an email about this, and I just broke out laughing. Like, I was like, yes, we have to have this for the event. This is hilarious. It's great. It's only a $5 minimum donation, but come on. King on a Hot Tin Roof, starring DDD and Gordo with Waddle Dee. How could you not love it? Thank you so much, Phoebe, for sending it out. $5 minimum donation. There are just so many amazing prizes that you could win. And hopefully, Shout's brought one back. What'd you get, Shout?
Okay, I got it. I know where we're at. Hold on, I got it.
Maybe put the microphone on so they can hear you.
Microphone would be helpful. Okay, I got it. Okay, but no, like, listen, like, this is clearly hollow.
Right.
There is clearly a prize hiding in the watermelon.
Okay, Shout. That is not a prize. That is a citrus. You got to think, Shout. That is not a prize.
Watermelon is citrus?
I have no idea, but I'm going to go with it and pretend that no one will call me out on it. It's delicious, however, it is not a prize. So you know what? That's all right. We'll try again later. I'm sure you've got this. The watermelon, not a prize, though it is very good. We are going to eat it later. But you know what is a prize, Shout?
Yeah.
We have an absolutely beautiful quilt from Kestrel Mashad. I think you've seen it. It's called My Friend in the Setting Sun.
Yes. No.
I want you to give your opinions on it. Give us a little shout out about it.
No, I absolutely love it, and I want to thank I can't read your hand.
Kestrel Mashad.
Kestrel Mashad.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you, Kestrel Mashad, for sending that in. Beautiful scene, beautiful framing. Kirby riding off into the sunset, or basically stopped at a cliff into the sunset,
right,
with the ship crashing down into the ocean. It's wonderfully framed. It's a great composition. It is art that is also comfy and can keep you warm if you too are in a cold semi-basement area filled with computer equipment.
It's definitely more of a decorative blanket, but it's cool. It's like 17 inches or so by about 28, I believe, are the dimensions. The exact dimensions are available if you go over to gamesdonequick.com, check out the website on the tracker. You can also see a picture of the full blanket instead of the cropped one we have on the layout. It is incredible. Like Shout mentioned, it's, you know, Kirby sitting on the wheelie rider, looking over the orange ocean sunset as Meta Knight's ship kind of crashes into it. It's just such an iconic scene from Kirby Superstar, and it's so cool to see, you know, a rendition in a blanket. Like,
Yeah.
you get so much depth of color in it too. There are so many beautiful oranges and yellows, and it's just all blended so well. You gotta take a look at it, and you gotta donate $35 from now until the end of Kirby's Dream Collection, which is coming up pretty soon, if you want a chance to win that. Again, huge shout outs to Kestrel Mashad for sending that out to us. Now, Shout, if we're talking prizes, we got to talk about our grand prizes just a little bit, right? We do?
We do. And we have 2 of them.
We have 2 great ones. Both of them are a $250 cumulative donation throughout the marathon. So that means you're going to have to donate $250 throughout this whole week in any, you know, subset that you would like to. But hey, $50 today is going to get you entered into a bunch of cool stuff. $50 tomorrow, $50 the next day. Before you know it, you are entered into both of these amazing grand prizes. Chat, you want to talk about our Heroic Replica prize?
Sure. So Heroic Replicas is stepping up once again. $250 cumulative donation. You get your choice of a custom replica from Heroic Replicas. There's a full list of options to choose from on the website, gamesdonequick.com. Click on the link for prizes in the top. This side, I believe.
Up there.
Yes, up here. You can get your choice of items like a Master Sword, a Hylian Shield, the Light Scale Trident.
All right, but what if I don't like Zelda?
Then what's wrong with you?
Okay, fair
But,
point.
okay,
But
just in case, we also have items like the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII, at scale, massive. They now have the Minecraft Diamond Sword.
all right, yeah, that's a sword I can get behind.
But I'll tell you what, I'll go you one further.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't like video games.
All right, yeah, you know,
Not possible, but maybe.
I don't believe it, but go on.
You can get things like the sword of, I just forgot the name of it, from, it was in my head and then it ran away, from Thundercats.
Oh yeah, the Sword of Omens.
Yes,
you know,
Sword of Omens.
Thundercats.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that
there we
one.
go.
Exactly. So something on that list for everybody. And that's just one of our 2 grand prizes. The other is a little more modern.
Little more modern. It's from our friends over at SkyTech Gaming. Huge shout outs to our friends at SkyTech Gaming, because it is a SkyTech Gaming Mark 9 PC, and it's got a ton of absolutely great parts in it. It's got a 5800X CPU. It's got a 3070 Ti graphics card, 32 gigs of RAM, a terabyte of solid-state hard drive space, 750 watt power supply, Gold Plus rated. Like, this whole thing is massive. These are not parts you can just go out and buy right now. This is a truly amazing rig. And again, both of those grand prizes, $250 cumulative throughout the marathon. But you know, Shout, I think that's going to do it for us right now. As always, if you have any questions, you can head over to gamesdonequick.com. Check out all the information that's available there. You know, you're going to find information on all the amazing runs coming up, like the amazing Kirby's Nightmare run we're about to see, as well as Kirby's Dream Collection, which I think is coming up right after that. A little bit of a Kirby block coming up. All of the amazing incentives that you can put your donations towards. You don't got to donate for prizes. You can put those donations towards incentives. Incentives like that awesome pet, the horse incentive. How many pets did we get?
I lost track.
There
was a lot.
This is the 10th anniversary of SGDQ, and I can tell you for sure, 10 years ago, Mike Uyama did not think we'd be raising more money than his first marathon, petting a horse. But it's so awesome that we did. That's unbelievable. And of course, all of the amazing, amazing prizes that you can win by getting those donations in. But right now, let's send it back up to the front and back up to Edo Bean as we get ready for Kirby's Nightmare.